Well, hello, everybody. We are live. Welcome to Coffee with a Missionary. We are saying hello to everyone who might watch. If you're watching this on a replay, welcome to Coffee with a Missionary. This is something that LAC puts on, and we're so excited to be talking with our missionaries. If you didn't get a chance to see our last one, we talked with Garrett and Garrett Kenyon, but his wife Tara and their family. You can see a picture of them. You can go watch that if you look in the video section of the LAC World Missions page. You can see you can see how to watch that replay. It's well worth your time, so take the time to look at the Kenyans there, and we had a great time talking with them. But today we're excited.
We are going to be interviewing missionaries Mike and Polly Brown, missionaries to Bolivia. They work with ChildHope. We just can't wait to have them on. Little fun fact, Polly and I became best friends at the age of 13. Hello, Polly. And so it's just super fun. And well, I'm talking about Polly. Mike doesn't matter right now. Just kidding. We're just so excited to have you guys on, fellow East Coasters. We've known you guys for a while. And yeah, we're looking forward to hearing more about what you guys do.
Yeah. Hey, guys. All right. Well, if you are watching this video live, would you just comment and tell us where you're watching from? We'd love to say hi. Thank you for joining us for Coffee with a Missionary, and go ahead and comment and say where you're watching from. We'd love you to give you a shout out. We're talking with Mike and Polly Brown in Bolivia. So, guys, first of all, welcome.
Thank you.
You're allowed to talk. Hello.
I didn't matter a minute ago.
So. No, thank you. We're excited to be here.
And we want to give you a chance to introduce yourself using a picture or a movie clip. So
movie quote.
Our movie quote. Thank you, Mike. Thank you.
I don't have a clip prepared.
Good point.
I don't even have coffee in my mug.
This is okay.
We're off to a great start.
So go ahead and introduce yourselves, guys.
Yes, so we are Mike and Polly Brown, and we have two kids, Genevieve, who is 7, and Jonah, who is 8. 4. I was thinking Genevieve's going to be 8 in January. So no, Jonah's 4, and we are here in Bolivia. And I was thinking about that, a movie quote or something. And I was thinking of Finding Nemo, which is probably my favorite movie. And we watch it a lot. And there's a scene where Dory says to Marlin, "When I look at you, I feel like I'm home." And I just think just in this journey, when we're constantly changing locations and houses and living in different places, and what we have is each other. We are our home. You know, we don't have a physical home really, but we have each other. So
that's good. I like that.
I like that.
Better than what I was going to do, which was going to sing a song from The Greatest Showman. So you guys win.
Please, I haven't seen it. This is a Coffee with a Missionary first vocal solo from Mike.
Sing.
So Mike, what is your movie quote or your photo? Oh, do we freeze?
He was going to sing a song
It
called Frozen.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What's your clip or what's your quote? I'm sorry, or your picture.
Oh, it was supposed to be like individualized. We're just mine is like there's a movie Finding Nemo. It's one of my favorites. Watched all the time. And there's one scene where Dory says to Marlin, if I'm not mistaken, like when you see you, I feel like I'm home.
That was impressive. Yeah. That was almost word for word.
Hold on. Hi, I'm Dory. Have we met?
Oh boy.
Yeah, I don't have anything. I had another quote, but I don't remember it.
No, that's okay. Welcome if you're just joining us live. Welcome. Go ahead and comment if you're watching. Comment where you're viewing from. We'd love to hear from you. And we're talking with Mike and Polly Brown, and they're missionaries in Bolivia.
I have a question.
Please.
Where is Bolivia?
Well, contrary to a lot of people's belief, it is not in Europe. So we'll start with that.
Ah,
That is the most common thing I think we hear, right?
really?
Yeah. I think they're thinking like Bulgaria or like, I really don't know.
That's got to be it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bolivia is, as they like to say, it's the heart of South America. It is the dead center of South America.
Okay.
And, yeah.
All right. So what would you say sets it apart from all the other Latin American countries? Aside from the fact that it's not in Europe.
Yes. Although they aren't either. So
Touche.
fair. It's one of only two Latin American countries that I can think of off the top of my head that are landlocked. Which we grew up near the beach, and so we like the beach, but that's just the reality. And it's, I don't know, it sets it apart per se, but it's well known for its, a lot of different kind of indigenous groups, and its official name is the plurinational state of Bolivia because it really embraces the variety of cultures.
Okay.
And also, like, it's, while you have the Andes Mountains, you also have the Amazon River Basin, and so you just kind of have the best of both worlds and the worst of both worlds, depending on your perspective.
That sounds beautiful, though. Sounds gorgeous.
Well, we want to welcome Darren White from Dayton, Ohio. Thanks, Darren, for commenting. If you are watching live, we want to welcome you to Coffee with a Missionary, and please comment in the comment section where you're viewing from. We'd love to hear from you, and we'd love for you to interact. In fact, later on, in probably about 15 minutes, we're going to play a little game called Are You Smarter Than a Missionary? And so if you'd like to participate in that game, just private message LAC World Missions. We'll send you a link. You need to have Google Chrome, but you can jump on and we'll put you right on with Mike and Polly, and we'll see, are you smarter than a missionary? You'll have the chance to win something special. Ooh. Now, before we go any further, there may be some people familiar with Latin America, Caribbean missions that thought, oh, Mike Brown, I know him. And so maybe you've seen this picture. This is Mike and Jess Brown. They are not the missionaries that we're talking with tonight.
Yeah.
The real Mike Brown.
Yeah. This is the slightly less muscular version of the other Mike Brown.
Brienne, thanks for saying hi from Toledo, Ohio. We got a couple Ohios going on. That's excellent.
Phil Schmidt says he likes your shirt, Mike.
Yes.
Represent.
Little
Sweet
shout out.
shirt, Mike. So before we go any further, it should be noted that you guys are from the Northeast. Mike, you're from Boston.
I won't hold that against you.
And so Boston, people probably think of the Red Sox, and people also think of the Patriots who are playing. Did they start right now?
I think so, yeah. I'm trying to be respectful. If I had it on right now, I would not do well in this interview.
What sacrifice then? We're honored.
We appreciate that. We do. So we're going to take a little turn and into something a little more serious. Mike and Polly, how did you decide to take the step into full-time missions?
So we both were called into missions from a very young age. And we met in college, and, we talked about that. We talked about how we both had that call on our lives, and we got married. And honestly, missions was kind of a far away thought to us. It was someday, we'll be missionaries. And we had our first child. Genevieve was 9 months old when God told us it was time to go. And I was totally not expecting that. And I wrestled with it for some time, but God just made it so clear that was the time. And, that's when we made that step.
Well, you're right. And we decided to go as missionary associates to Costa Rica the first time because kind of our lack of missions experience. So we just decided that it would be good to take a term, 2 years, and get our feet wet, learn from a bunch of really cool missionaries, which we had a chance to do in Costa Rica, and always with the plan of after that first term that we would go ahead and become full-time missionaries and just kind of do this.
Mm-hmm. So Polly, for you, you said it was like really, really hard when Genevieve was like 9 months old. It came earlier. What were just like some of the things that you personally struggled with,
Well, I think just in that season, I was a new mom and I was just learning how to be a mom, learning how to take care of my child. And we wanted to have more kids and I just couldn't, fathom that thought of having more kids on the mission field. But of course, that was the first thing we did when we got to Costa Rica was had another baby. But I don't know, a lot of like fears, and I felt bad taking, our kids away from family and grandparents. And I don't know, just a lot of different emotions and
Yeah. I'm asking because I know that a lot of people are probably, if they're feeling called to missions, that's like a very real thing. Even if your kids are older, wherever they're at, if you're a parent, that's something that you deal with. So I feel like I'm beating this now with a stick. But how did then, if someone asked you, then how did you know it was okay to do that, even though you had those fears? Like, how did God kind of help you both work through that, to feel the release and the peace that you needed?
Well, Mike just right away, when that opportunity was presented to us, right away felt like it was what the Lord had. And he kind of gave me that space to kind of wrestle with it a bit. And so, it was just every day saying, Lord, what about this? What about that? And just laying down all those fears and questions and doubts that I had. And it was like every time I picked up a book to read or devotions or the Bible, he just kept saying, I just want you to go. I just want you to obey, and I will take care of you, and I will take care of your kids. And, you don't have to worry about all of that. So, it took me some time, but I came to that point where God was just very clear about it and that he was going to take care of us.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah.
So if you're tuning in, if you're watching this live, we are going to, in about 10 minutes, we're going to be doing a little segment called Are You Smarter Than a Missionary? So if you'd like to jump on, we'll put you right on live with Mike and Polly, and you get to answer some questions about U.S. history. So if that's you, just private message LAC World Missions, and I'll send you a link. You'll need Google Chrome. And we'll throw you right on there, and it'll be a blast. But
you get to win something.
And you get to win something, which is always exciting. But so Mike and Polly, from your shirt, Mike, we know that you are involved with ChildHope. Tell us a little bit about ChildHope, what it is, what's your guys' role with ChildHope?
Yeah, so ChildHope is a ministry that seeks to reach kids and their families and their communities with the gospel and using the vehicle of education. So we have schools in kind of poorer communities, and actually I encourage everyone to go to the ChildHope website and read the history of it. How it started in El Salvador. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And that's how it really started was what can we actually do to make an impact in these kids' lives and change their lives, really is what it comes down to. And so we want to give them an opportunity. So how it's built and based up is that there are schools in these poor communities where we're giving them a great chance at education, a quality education. And at the same time, we share with them the truth of the gospel, because we know that at the end of the day, Jesus is really the only one who can change their situation anyway. And Jesus is the only one who's the answer to their needs. But we also recognize that providing a service to them, such as education, is a good vehicle to have the opportunity to have that conversation with them.
Yeah.
So
have you guys been, sorry. No, go ahead.
Our role, yeah, we're kind of, it's not even necessarily the majority of our time spent right now in what we're doing here. As we're still kind of adjusting to life here in Bolivia and stuff. But our role is to help kind of facilitate, coordinate from the standpoint that we have sponsors in the States. People pick up, monthly sponsorship, which is always a good idea. We do it ourselves. And we're helping coordinate that with the national work, right? So we don't go, because we get to ask that a lot. So just to be clear, we don't go in and teach the kids necessarily. Okay. Although we do have opportunities to speak into their lives, to preach, to teach in a big picture setting, but we're not employed at the school. We have national workers who do the teaching and are the directors and do all those things. And we're just kind of moving around and facilitating that and working toward getting more of the kids sponsored so that more kids can hear about Jesus.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
That's so cool. We didn't do it earlier, but this is a picture of the family. Why don't you guys introduce your kids?
So look at that. What's great about this photo is that Jonah's wearing a Red Sox t-shirt. I'm gonna point that out. It's phenomenal. So Genevieve and Jonah, who are 7 and 4. Yeah. And actually, that picture is really cool. I'm glad that you picked that picture, because that picture was taken this year when we were in Costa Rica. And we were in Costa Rica for a deaf ministry conference, because it's another thing that we work with here is trying to reach the deaf. And so you can see that we are signing the letters for U, S, and A, and then Jonah is signing the I love you.
Wow.
And so, but that was in Costa Rica, so it was extra special for us because Jonah was born there, and so he talks about it. That's his birth country. I mean, he talks about he is a Costa Rican through and through, and so this is kind of a fun picture for us.
So, yeah, you guys were in Costa Rica, now you're in Bolivia. Can you tell us a little bit about how that transition, got made?
Yes. Yeah, well, so we knew that God was calling us elsewhere. We weren't going to stay in Costa Rica. That was the right opportunity at that time, and we loved Costa Rica, but it just wasn't the door that was open, and we knew that. So we've been praying about it, and we were at a retreat in Mexico, actually, and I ran into a missionary from Bolivia there, Jeremiah Marge, awesome people. And so I ran into him there, and God really began to put on my heart Bolivia. And I'm going to be honest, I had never thought of Bolivia in my life. I knew it existed, but I think beyond that, I couldn't have told you anything about it. The llama capital of the world. Did you know that? Anyway.
No, that's fun.
Yeah, important stuff. No, but I didn't know. He just started putting it on my heart, and I was praying, and he just kept showing me and revealing to me in different ways, to the point where 4 straight days, literally in front of my face on the computer, popped up Bolivia. And so I've been praying about it, and I went to tell Polly, hey, I really feel like I know where God's calling us, so she could be praying about it too. And I was like, hey, I know where God's calling us. And she said,
and I said, yeah, Bolivia.
Because she already knew from when she was a kid.
Yeah. So actually, Bill Schmidt, if he's still watching, I was at lunch with him and the missionary that we worked with in Costa Rica, Mary Mann, and Mary, I think, was kind of nudging us in the direction of ChildHope. And she said, so what do you guys want to do after Costa Rica? And I said, we'd love to continue with ChildHope. And I jokingly said, but you'd have to put us somewhere cold because I just like cold weather. And so he listed off some countries, and one of those countries was Bolivia. And as soon as he said Bolivia, I knew, because when I was in first grade, it's like one of the earliest memories I have from elementary school. My teacher invited someone to come to our classroom to talk about the country of Bolivia. And I remember it so vividly. And she had some of like traditional clothing and handmade things. And when I was a kid, I always thought, I want to go to Bolivia someday. But as I got older, I didn't think about it again until that conversation. And when he said Bolivia, I knew that God had put that in my heart when I was a little girl. And I didn't even realize. I still have this the person who came and talked to us gave these out. And I still have it. So this is like,
that's amazing.
Years old. And so, yeah.
Wow. That's so cool. I did not know that. That's awesome.
Neither did I at the time. That is interesting.
And you've been married all those.
That is crazy.
11 years this Saturday.
Took away.
Sorry, you said 11 years on Saturday?
Our anniversary is Saturday, 11 years.
Congratulations.
And yesterday was our 1-year anniversary of being in Bolivia.
Wow. Awesome.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
So I have a question about life in Bolivia. What's it like having to live, communicate, work in another language, pretty much 24/7? That's something it's as we're in the process of learning Spanish and surrounding ourselves with that, you feel cool, like, oh yeah, I can speak a little Spanish. Oh, I understand what they're saying. But then when it's like, whether you like it or not, every day, it's always, and that's what. So talk to us a little bit about what that's like.
I think it's very different for us. I think in general, people view it differently. For me, I don't even think twice. I can be speaking in Spanish or speaking in English. Usually I'm speaking somewhat in both. And like, I don't even necessarily pay attention to it, because it's a weird thing for people who have learned another language. I think they grasp that. If you've never learned another language, maybe you're watching and you never learned another language. It's weird because my mind doesn't think in English and think in Spanish. I feel like my mind just thinks, and I either speak in Spanish or speak in English. I know that's kind of hard to understand, but
yeah.
So for me, it really, I never feel burnt out speaking Spanish. I feel just, to me, and I'm always, I enjoy the opportunities because I'm always growing in it and learning more, but I embrace it as I enjoy it a lot.
That's impressive. What about for you, Polly?
Well, I'm home a lot. With Jonah's still home with me, so I don't use it as much as Mike does. I mean, obviously, I still use it. Yeah, I have moments of like, gosh, I wish I knew the word for that, or there's moments of frustration, but it's amazing how far we've come with the language, and sometimes we surprise ourselves with where we're at when we really stop and think about it compared to where we were when we started. Well,
to speak to that point, like right now we're learning Bolivian Sign Language, and so Polly grew up in a home, her parents are both deaf, and so she grew up knowing American Sign Language, and so I didn't grow up knowing that. And so I've been taking the classes, and then I kind of help her to know which ones are different and the same from American Sign Language. But I was thinking about it one day. I'm like, I'm learning a language based off of my second language, not off my first. So imagine that is like a whole different level.
True.
Wow.
And we do a Bible study at our home. Well, some of our closest friends here that are our neighbors that are Christians too, and we're really good friends with, are Brazilian. And so sometimes they'll just speak in Portuguese, and it's amazing to me, like how much I understand.
Wow.
Like it's really cool in a way.
Wow. Yeah. We got a question from Darren White. Thank you, Darren, for asking this question. He's asking, what Christian music do you listen to?
Oh,
V, así. We listen to a lot of kids.
Like VBS. I don't know. I just go on Spotify and put on worship music a lot of times.
We're big into Lauren Daigle right now, though.
Yes.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
We're big Lauren Daigle fans. Honestly, I mostly, this is not to be like, I don't listen to a ton of music. And when I listen to music, usually it's worship music. And just because that's what I have. But,
What are some of your favorite worship bands right now?
oh, I'm an old man. Like, she makes fun of me. I listen to all the old stuff still.
Like Darlene Check old, or what are we talking
Oh, that's
here?
nothing old.
Or further.
Like Ron Canoli?
No, just like your typical like 90s youth group worship.
Yeah.
I
I like Hillsong, House Fires, Elevation worship. I really like Southeastern University worship too.
Oh, cool.
Okay, wow. Shout out to Southeastern
Yeah.
University. If anyone's watching from Southeastern.
I do listen to some John Atchison from CBC. And shout out, my favorite artist in Spanish is Marcela Gándara. And I know some
Oh, yes.
Spanish music is probably going to appreciate that. But
Darren White answers, he says Newsboys. He's a Newsboys guy.
well, so then we'll probably appreciate the fact that Jonah's favorite song that he sings 24/7 is God's Not Dead
Oh yeah.
All right.
by Newsboys. That's his thing.
That's amazing. Aaron Chambers asks, what's your favorite corito?
Corito?
I'm assuming little chorus?
a little chorus.
Little song? I'm hoping, Aaron, can you help us out on this
Can you
one?
confirm or deny?
I'm assuming it's favorite little chorus.
Little chorus.
Maybe a favorite song?
Right.
Okay.
Right. Little song.
Yeah.
Just a little one.
I don't know.
I don't. I
El
am.
Cupido is grande, for
I am
sure.
so not hip with it. I am not.
That is okay.
I
I
love,
want to
I
say
love the
thanks
Lauren
to
Daigle song. What's that Lauren Daigle song I really like that's out there right now? The
Oh.
You say. It's good stuff.
so
Here we go.
thank you, Aaron. So she says they're Spanish hymns como alabaré.
Alabaré, 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 alabaré a mi Señor.
We need someone to clap on the offbeat.
That's right.
No, I can't.
Actually,
I haven't learned that yet.
I've been to some here where I've gotten to listen to some like that are indigenous language. I have no clue what they're saying, but I just really love it. It's just
That's
super
awesome.
cool, like listening to them worship in those. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not a big music guy. But thank you for
That's okay.
I've never heard that phraseology.
Well, Aaron or Darren, either one of you guys, if you guys want to hop on, I can send you a link and you can hop on and play Are You Smarter Than a Missionary with Mike and Polly. What's that?
Are you logged into LAC? This says no one up there.
I am.
For us. Okay.
Yep.
Sorry.
Internal stuff. Anyway, yeah, if you'd like to, just let us know because we're about to start our section. Are you smarter than a missionary? Anyone else too, please private message LAC World Missions. We'll send you a link. You need Google Chrome as a browser. But you'll be able to set it right up and we'll be able to have a wonderful time. So I'm just going to introduce this a little bit. So usually with Are You Smarter Than a Missionary? Oh, thanks. Darren says, thanks, but driving now. I appreciate that. Impressive. Watching this while driving. I like that.
Wait a minute.
And
typing. Is this?
Taryn.
It might be voice. It might be voice. We can't.
Okay.
It could
I
be.
hope so.
Might have a hands-free device.
So anyway, usually with Are You Smarter Than a Missionary, we talk about the country, Bolivia, right? Today, what I thought was, since you guys have been missionaries now and you're outside of the U.S., I want to see, are you up on your U.S. history? So we're going to do Are You Smarter Than a Missionary U.S. history style. So we got some questions about U.S. history. We got any takers out there? Anyone want to hop on?
If not, I'll do it, and you guys will guarantee win. So
Do we get our?
it doesn't matter where I live. I don't know anything.
Or you could just put us against each other.
That's
No.
true. The two of you.
Now that's a good idea. Let's do that. So
Fight.
all right, so here are the rules.
Oh, wait, no.
Brianne Smithia, yes.
Come on, girl.
All right, Brianne, I'm gonna send you a link here. Just a second.
I just saved your marriage.
So you gotta
I didn't,
you gotta
actually.
take over because
Brianne
I'm getting this.
All right, so Noah is officially distracted, which means I can't. There you are. I can't. You went away for a second. So he's gonna get this set up. But I did have a quick question for you guys. How have the kids adjusted to living 24/7 in a different language? Like, I know you posted something a while back. Polly, I almost called you my daughter's name. About Genevieve going to school for the first time, all in Spanish, right?
So Genevieve actually goes to an international school, and it's in English.
Okay.
But she has Spanish classes there, and all her friends are Bolivian, so they all speak Spanish on the playground and stuff. They're not supposed to, but they do.
Okay.
And so Genevieve actually, she speaks Spanish really well. She loves it. She does really well. Jonah, because he's still home with me, has not really learned much Spanish yet. I think he can understand more than he can speak, but they do fine. They're used to it. This is all Jonah's ever known.
It's actually kind of fun because Genevieve speaks English with a Latin accent sometimes when she's like,
That's
awesome. She's like, no, your sister. Your sister. I was like,
that's so cute. Aww. I love it.
At home with us, she never does that, but around her friends, she always does.
That's so cool. She just kind of blends in. Are you ready?
No, we're still waiting for Brianne, so we got to give her some time.
All right, that's fine.
I feel like Brianne did that out of a love for Polly because
Brianne and I were sweet mates in college.
Well, here we go. So we have Brianne with us.
Hi.
Hi, Brianne.
Yay.
Hi, guys.
How are you?
Hey.
This is so wonderful.
I
This is so
did.
exciting.
You look beautiful. Half of your face.
Oh, there.
There you go. Now you're fully beautiful.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Good. I'm really glad to see you. And Mike's totally right. I totally did this out of the love of Polly.
All right, so
Is that better?
we're going to start this. Okay, here are the rules. All right.
cheating, right?
No rules.
There are no. So and
Wait.
what are we playing for tonight?
All right,
Mel?
tonight the
There we
stakes
go.
are really high. Okay,
How high?
we're figuring that out.
Oh my goodness.
So the winner of this is going to get a bag of their favorite coffee. Now we live in the
There you go.
Northeast as of right this moment, so that could be Starbucks, Dunkin', but we can get you any roast that you want, and we will send it to you. That's what's at stake.
If the roast is in your home state, we will go online and order it from that state and get it to you. It doesn't have to be a national brand here. So
Okay.
All right, so here are the rules. What we're gonna do is we lost Brianne.
apparently
Does that mean
didn't
you
like
win?
we were all
You win.
Nope, she's back. Okay, we got her. All right, we got you, Brianne. Okay. So here are the rules. I got, I think, 4 questions. All right. You have to let me finish the question, even if you think you know the answer. As soon as I'm done saying the question, you raise your hand and raise it into the screen so we can see it. All right. We will take the answers in order, and if you're correct, you get a point. If you are not correct, we will go to the other person. If no one is correct, God help us, because this is U.S. history.
I didn't grow up in the U.S. Disclaimer. So we'll see. I think we're,
This will be really interesting then.
Brianne, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Uruguay, South America. I am all about LAC missions. So I love that you guys are doing this.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for tuning in, I guess.
Okay.
So here we go. I don't know, what do you call Facebook Live? Yeah. All right, so here we go. First question. In what year did the Boston Tea Party occur?
Polly's face.
Okay, we got Mike with the hand. Mike, what do you got?
I'm just gonna roll with it. I'm gonna be yelled at if I get this wrong. I'm just gonna go with it and say 1776. It sounds good.
Oh man, we need a sound effect. That is incorrect.
Womp womp.
Do I get a guess?
Yeah, it goes to you, Brienne.
I'm going to say 1775.
Ooh, good guess. Not correct.
No. Polly,
All right,
save us.
I
Polly,
don't
you
know
are the
what it
last
is.
one.
1774.
Oh man, so close. It was 1773.
We just needed one more
Oh my
person.
goodness. Okay. All right. Well, that's all right because now we got 3 questions left. It's odd, so we'll have a winner. This works.
But I feel like she should get the point because I'm from Boston and I should probably know better than that. I've been to the location how many times? Like,
That's
Well,
true. We'll give it to
All
Brienne.
right, Brienne, you're off to a winning start.
I feel good about that.
All right.
Thanks.
This is a fun one here. I'm excited. This one is going to take a little effort. Name 7 wars that the U.S. has been in.
In the U.S. or just in general?
In general, we got Mike. 7 wars. Go ahead.
Okay, they've been in the Revolutionary War. They were in the War of 1812. They were in the French Indian War. They were in World War I, World War II, the Korean War, technically Korean conflict if you want, Vietnam War, the Iraq War. That's going to be 7 by now, right?
Good
Holy
job.
heck, man.
Wow.
The Civil
Congratulations.
War. I didn't even say the Civil War. I felt like that was like an obvious one.
All right. Brienne, you can steal it if you can think of one he didn't say.
Cold War. The Cold War.
Cold War. Wow.
That's impressive.
We need like a third-party judge on this one.
Why?
Well, then I'll come back with the Gulf War.
Oh my goodness.
Or you already said Vietnam. What's the one, the Iraqi conflict or whatever it was over there? That one. I don't know what it's called.
I said that.
Unfortunately, I think we're gonna have to toss this one back to Mike and Polly. So
That was a pretty
okay,
good
we're
answer.
going good here. 1-1, 1-1. Here we go. Are you smarter than a missionary? Here we go. It's 1-1. All right. Who was the 3rd president of the United States? Oh, Mike. All right, Mike. What do you got?
Thomas Jefferson.
That is correct.
Brienne, I'm so sorry. He's
That is
so
correct.
fast.
I only learned that one like 2 years ago, so I was kind of excited about it, but it's fine. You take it.
I'm just gonna mail you coffee anyway.
All right,
You're
this
fine.
is
No,
Brienne.
please don't. I'm actually not a coffee drinker, but I wasn't going to tell you to the end.
This is Coffee with the Missionary. You're essentially just spitting in the face of everything that this is. Mike's not
I'm
either.
gonna ask the last question. Where is it? All right. What was the first state? I think I know this one.
All right, you have to continue.
Oh, Mike, sorry.
It was. I was gonna say it's Delaware, right?
That's what I was gonna say.
That's correct.
Yes.
That
Good
is
job.
correct. 3-1.
You know why? Because the quarters. Remember when
What?
they came up with the quarters with the states on the back of them in order?
Oh.
Delaware
right.
was the first quarter.
This
Well-
is very educational, guys. I'm learning so much.
Well, Brienne, we have to thank you so much for coming on. You showed a lot of boldness. We will send you your favorite coffee. Just message us.
She doesn't
And,
like coffee.
We will send you your
Or
favorite
tea,
drink.
candy,
Tea.
whatever you want.
You know what? I would rather, honestly, you send it to some other person who would enjoy it, some missionary around there who's in America who needs a pick-me-up, whatever works.
All right.
right.
Thanks, Brienne.
Thank you so much,
Bye, guys.
Brienne.
So good to see you all.
Good to see you
You
too.
too.
Bye-bye. All right, how cool is that? Brienne is the lady. That was amazing.
She's the lady.
The lady. Well, thank you so much for everyone for tuning in and for listening to Mike and Polly and hear about Bolivia a little bit. Any final parting thoughts?
Yeah, can I ask one more question?
Absolutely.
Do you guys have a little bit more steam left in you to answer one more question?
Yeah.
I think so. I want to just hear about something that is just a God story from your guys' end. That if you could just tell one really cool thing that God has done, the way he's provided, somewhat of like, doesn't have to be a crazy miracle, but just something that really stands out to you guys over this missions journey from the beginning. What is it? This was an unplanned question, to be fair. So, or just one really thing that God has just done in your lives specifically, you know?
I think it's hard. We can't without there's just too much to tell, but just the way he's provided for us. You guys know as missionaries, we depend on the support of so many people, and God just brings it in, and we literally could not survive here without that. And so I think just that generosity, and people just allowing God to use them to bless missionaries and to be a part of what, God is doing all over the world. Probably that, just the way that he provides for us.
Yeah.
There was a friend of mine was talking about an experience that they had as a family recently. Just the other day, they FaceTimed into one of our Bible studies, and I'm going to quote him because I really like what he said, because I think that even though it's a different context that he was using it for, I think it's the same thing, kind of what Polly's saying. So I'll quote him. It's Steve Patient, so he officially gets his quote. He said of his experience, but even though it's a different thing, it's not through suffering, it's through this mission journey, is we've really learned how big the family of God is and how much they love, And in a different context, we didn't need love in the sense of to pick us up from when we were down, but just in the point that we feel so supported and loved by people, some that we don't even know, that will reach out to us. And it's just it really gives you a real strong appreciation for the family of God. And I think you need that as a missionary, because you do leave your family, as Polly mentioned. And so to see that, and it's just been really cool. It's really cool to just see how God provides friendships, and God provides just everything. And it's amazing, and there are so many stories. It is hard to pick one, but yeah.
Wow.
That's awesome. Thank you. Yeah, that's just encouraging to hear, because then it encourages other people too to think, if they have this urge to email a missionary or to send you just a note, just to let you know that they're praying for you, whatever it may be, it's not wasted. Those things genuinely mean the world. And so, yeah. So
if someone wants to get in contact with you, how would they email you? Do you have a Facebook or something like that?
Yeah, we do have Facebook and our email. Both use Mike and Polly Brown. So Mike and Polly Brown at gmail.com, or our Facebook is facebook.com/Mike and Polly Brown. And those are both good ways to get in touch with us. And yeah, that's probably the best way.
Awesome. Well, thank you both for taking the time, and we're so excited to be that we had a chance to talk with you. And we're excited to see how people respond, not only on the live but watching it on the replay, and they get to hear a little bit of your guys' story. If you're watching and you're anything like me, we didn't even scratch the surface. There's so much more that you guys do, so much more that you are. And so I hope that we can have you guys on again. not only that, but if there's people want to know more information, I just hope that they get in touch with you, hear more about what you're up to, because you guys are doing so much in ministry, and God's doing so much through you. So God bless you guys, and thank you for taking the time.
Thank you for having us, for inviting us to do this. It was fun.
Thank you.
Good.
You're welcome.
Can I steal 1 minute to share a prayer request? Is that
Absolutely?
Oh, yes. Yeah, please.
okay? No, just it's something, and I share it too because it is something that teaches a little about missions. For me, like I know for Polly, she loves her family, and it's hard to be around her family. To be away from her family, to be away. It's easy to be around. It's hard to be away. Sorry. And I love my family, but we always grew up like kind of more apart from each other, so we understand long distance. But it's tricky for her. But for us, like we can get over it because we're adults. The kids is when we really struggle with that. And so I just think if anyone is ever wondering like how you can pray for missionaries, praying for missionary kids is always a good way to go with that. And specifically because like right now, as a specific thing, Genevieve, her best friend, typically I feel like people make friends with other foreigners, right? Like even in the country, and the reason is even though we have Bolivian friends, but when you come here, like all the Bolivians who have grown up here, they have their friendships that are strong developed. So who are the people looking for other bases of friendships are other extranjeros, other foreigners. Yeah. And so I think for Genevieve, she really sees comfort in being friends with kids who are from other countries. The problem is that means there's more goodbyes because they leave too. It's not only us that might leave, it's them that might leave. And so her best friend is from Italy and just moved back to Italy. And it's just like still sad for her. And I think it's a really tricky thing. And it's not the end of the world. There are a lot worse things that happen, but just as a general point of reference, I know for us, when people ask how they can pray, usually I just think of them, of the kids and how they do adjust to these things. And so, I would appreciate those prayers, but also just in general, any missionary. I think they would appreciate prayer for their kids.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. Before we go, I do want to say that in 2 weeks' time, we're going to be talking with Becca Whitaker. She is a missionary associate in Uruguay, and so we're excited to be talking with her. She's even got her coffee shirt. It says, "Drink coffee." I drink coffee to you. So she's knows what she's doing there. But we're excited to talk with her. Thank you so much, guys. God bless you, and we will talk to you later.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.